All set, Kelly? Everybody else? All right.
Oh, stop. Oh my God. Can I just please take a picture of you guys?
We'll do one at the end, too.
You have to do that.
I'm getting mine out of the car for this, you know that.
Oh, yeah, what'd
We
you do?
want to see it.
Do the queen wave, come on.
Oh, yeah.
The camera's usually on it. Poor Pete down there.
All right.
That was
With
awesome.
that being said, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Oxford Downtown Development Authority of May 15th, 2023 at 7:09 p.m. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
We should
Remove our crowns. Especially since we got to see the king. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Okay, so let's start with roll call, please.
Johnston. Yes. Schultz.
Yes.
Charles.
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
Colvin, here. Carey.
Here.
Clark.
Yes.
Knaus.
Here.
And Cook is absent.
Okay. Any comments from the public? Would you care to step forward, please? Introduce yourself.
So I'm Reagan Rozeski. I'm the new intern for the DDA in the village. I go to Ferris State University. I'm majoring in marketing with a minor in professional sales. I'm going into my senior year, and I'm very excited to begin.
And she began today.
Yes.
We put her to work. Thanks for being here. And she will get, James is helping us with a laptop for her, and he'll have it set up by Thursday. She has an email that she's already communicated with Leanne and Jess on the project for the community and the map. But today she helped us get organized in the closet out in Washington Square, and we put her to work, so we're so excited to have her.
Thank you.
Well, she was nervous. I mean, look at y'all, you're wearing crowns.
Totally normal.
Okay, public comment, we're all set unless somebody else wants to say something who's hiding? No? Okay, consent agenda. I'd like to, at this point, add an item under 9C to include the sign grant improvement program. There's a proposal here for a facade grant. So I want to add that to our agenda for 9C. Okay. And let's see. So anyhow, that's it. So number 5, approval of the approved agenda, the minutes, the police report, code enforcement report.
We're gonna approve the agenda first.
We gotta approve the agenda first, you're right.
Make a motion to approve the amended agenda, if there's no other questions.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of April 2023.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, police report, code enforcement report. Can we lump those together?
Make a motion to receive and file a police report and a code enforcement report.
Second.
Discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, financials, 6A, the financial statements and revenue expenditure reports.
Make a motion to approve the financial statements and expenditure reports and paying the bills in the amount of $18,574.02.
All set. Go ahead, Grace.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? Roll call, please, Catherine.
Johnston. Yes. Schultz.
Yes.
Charles.
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
Colvin, yes. Carey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
And Knaus.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. DDA reports. Let's talk about the executive director's report. Or should we have Reagan do that?
Probably might need a few more days. So great month, congratulations on the Main Street Awards. We won 2 out of the 8 out of 27 communities, which was incredible. So we won one for our artwork and mural program that we have really accomplished just this past year. And then the second one was for our facade and signage program that we really simplified, and I can't believe it. We've done 1/3 of the district in less than 2 years. And that's incredible, really unheard of, just in the whole Main Street program, not even just in Oakland County. That's what I'm being told. So really, really neat. We received $2,000 for grant monies for that. Probably putting it towards the trolley, I'll be honest with you. But we were really excited. It was a great night. Thank you for those of you guys who could come. We had a wonderful spring cleanup day. I don't know if you saw some of the signs coming into the district downtown, but we planted a lot and cleaned up. We had the loft program here, which is always fun to work with those kids. So we mulched around the trees on M24. We cleaned up Washington Square. We mulched behind some of the businesses. A little more to do that we didn't get done, but we made some headway. Sick Pizza was nice enough to feed all of our volunteers, close to 30, for free, so that was cool. We did a ton of grant work this past month. So we worked on the Bridge Builders grant and submitted that. We have another grant that Grace and Ashley brought to us that we'll be submitting by June 1st. We're working with the county on a grant for ARPA funds. I did a lot of work with the MEDC and Kyle from the new venue that's going to be downtown. We met with them and started helping them with their grant paperwork. And then we're also making additional headway on the party store with the MEDC and getting that grant paperwork done. So grants take a lot of time, but I mean, I feel like we do really well with them, so it's exciting to see. We also had a few businesses apply for the Flagstar grant that the county put out, and then the Genesis grant is also due this upcoming Friday, so we'll help the businesses that want our help as well with that. We got that party store awning down. Oh, amen to that. We actually, I know, right? So we worked with the village and then introduced the owner of the party store to some contractors who would be able to do it in a timely manner. And they got the front and the back down, and we're also making some headway on that sale. So that's good news. Let's see, anything else? The NAP squad is supposed to kick off this week for that grant. We did some furniture ordering and things through design committee. We had a great in-person meeting with a lot of new folks, and we're really working to make sure that's rolling and everything's getting done and that we're communicating with the businesses. But we just have to make sure that they start this week. They're a little bit behind because of the rain in the beginning of the month, so we're pushing them a little bit. We also got the production of the trolley signage for the large signage that will like stick on the trolley on the sides. So that's finally in production. Got the proofs back and it looks really nice. So
Good.
it was a good month. It was a busy month.
Oh, you mentioned the award grant. You said we put it toward the trolley. Why do we need to put it toward the trolley?
So Liv came in for their sponsorship, but they signed a little bit later than we first anticipated. So we are splitting that cost of those first couple of months through the year with Lake Orion. Because we only ran our like shorter hours, the Fridays and Saturdays, it's not much. And we did have some money set aside regardless for it, but this just helps so that we don't have to take anything out.
What's the ballpark monthly operating expense?
Yeah, so it's like $3,000 a month, so it costs us even a little less than $1,500. So
I mean, that's what we started when we first engaged in this. We were guessing around $3,000 a month, so that
yeah,
seems
so
on
we're
target.
covered for the rest of the year. My thought process is more along, okay, let's already start on January of 24 and figure out who we have sponsoring it next year, because the 6 months is gonna fly by.
You mentioned headway on the MEDC grant. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure, so MEDC, you know, the project has to be approved. It has to be something that the MEDC is willing to take on. So they really look for a building in our type of district with the number of people that we have in the village, something that has historic elements that the building owner is trying to preserve. So when we met with the building owner and MEDC, they were really interested in the project. They liked all the renderings and the blueprints that he brought into the meeting. So now it's just checking the boxes and getting it into the pipeline for them to approve.
Did you guess how far along that might be?
So it's anywhere for 3 to 6 months, and the deciding factor is going to be if Kyle is the building owner, if he wants to wait for the MEDC or if he wants to go forward without the grant and just complete the project because he doesn't want to wait. His initial timeline for opening was the end of August, so it's just going to be the deciding factor on whether he wants to wait. One recommendation that we talked about in design committee the other day, and Catherine can expand on this, but there is some beautiful images at the museum that has the old building and how it peaks up, and that is actually behind that brick facade. And so our thought process was if he did want to move forward with the inside construction so that he could open his doors, would it be possible to talk him into taking it back to its roots and that original peak in the building, taking down the brick facade, and MEDC could help with that instead.
Very cool.
So we're just kind of in discussions right now, and obviously it's up to him at the end of the day, but he is really interested in the history, so I hope he goes that route.
Sorry to make this a dialogue. To that point, we had a conversation one time about putting markers on the buildings with some historical designation. Is that something we still want to pursue? I know it's been talked, but nothing been done. I just thought that would be kind of a cool idea. But
Yeah, I think so. There's a couple of grants that I'm looking into right now. Actually, Business Forward brought me a couple that I think we could apply for it as a grant. But I think it's a great idea.
does anybody on the board want to participate in that? I mean, is that something?
You all do.
Well, what I mean is, because everything, the idea, every idea degenerates to work at some point, right?
Yeah,
I'd help with that, if there's something we can do.
I would too. That's something we've talked about in the EV committee a couple of times.
Yeah.
I know Lake Orion, I think, has a similar thing going on where you can scan a QR code on the buildings. It'd be nice to get something going like that too.
Yeah.
And I had an initial conversation with the one of the museum people about that. They wouldn't mind participating, is what he told me, so.
Perfect.
At least I would just want to get the ball rolling a little bit there. Okay. Great. Anything else on our committee, or on the executive director's report?
Good.
Mr. Schultz?
Board committee was pretty short. On Friday, we just now already talked about Main Street Awards and the quad project updates that Kelly just gave you, so we're already on that. The fifth plan is being worked on. We are going to be able to use some of our Main Street grant program money to help pay for it, to have someone actually help write the entire thing, so that should make it go a lot easier on that. And the trolley was just further discussion on that as far as the intricacies and making sure that it's running and schedules and everything like we're up and going on that. And that was about it. And the budget, we went over the budget, but it was already on its way to being approved, so.
And one thing to mention on the trolley, because I did follow up on our conversation that we had, because I get the notifications when the trolley is turned off, and we had a little bit of pushback, social media wise on the loop. So I noticed that it's consistently being turned off about 8 minutes earlier than we would like. So after speaking with NODA, they're actually going to make sure that the last loop is at 9 o'clock, which means they probably won't get back to the garage until 9:15 moving forward. So we might see an extra 15 minutes of billing, but I told them that, that's the way we want it. We don't want it to shut off early because people
Exactly.
are utilizing it. So we're making sure that that last round is at 9 p.m.
Okay.
Are we still seeing consistent traffic?
We are, and even better now that we flipped that schedule to Friday and Saturday. I actually spoke to one of the drivers on Friday about that. She said that Fridays and Saturdays are so consistent, and that's the sweet spot for it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now for our Economic Vitality Committee.
Yeah, so we had a bit of a smaller group for our meeting this month, but we still had quorum for the committee. We met over at Fletchy's Smokehouse, which is one of the new businesses in the district. I was able to talk a little bit with the owner before the meeting started with Sean, learn a little bit more about the business. We were hoping we would be able to speak with him as a group, but unfortunately he got busy. So we're going to try to reach out to him again at a little later time. A couple of things that we talked about during the meeting, though, is the Michigan Arts and Culture Center grants, MACC grants, that Kelly had mentioned a little bit earlier in the director's report. And those are grants that are a part of a subsidiary of MEDC. They're available for a wide array of things for placemaking, murals, different types of artistic projects within the community. So we thought that one of those might be applicable to some of the projects that we currently have going, whether it's a continuation of the mural program or helping out with the placemaking projects that we're doing. So that's something that this month we're going to be looking at and hopefully getting a grant submitted by June 1st. So I think that's an incredible opportunity for us. Another thing that we had talked about, which has been on our agenda for quite some time, is creating a reporting template for the committees. So all of you have just received a copy of that. And after the meeting today, I can also, or me or Kelly can email you the EV committee's report using this template so you can see it actually being used. But I went through about 10 or 15 different DDA's board books to see how they were reporting, as well as what the requirements were for Open Meetings Act, and just like what we needed to have full transparency for our committee meetings. So everything is kind of included in this template. It's got, our letterhead.
Cool stuff.
It'll have your committee name, your date, time, and location. And then something that Ashley had started incorporating on the economic vitality agendas previously was just including the Main Street description for our particular committee. We found that to be very helpful just to keep us grounded and oriented around what our committee's purpose is. And I also think it has some value for the public. So once this is published in a board book and it's public, if somebody's looking at it and they have no idea what economic vitality is, there's that 2-sentence description from Main Street that just kind of gives them a sense of, oh, this is what they do. And then after that, we've also been including our yearly goals that we approved as a committee, again, just to keep us oriented. And everything after that is just what we put on our reporting anyways. It's, the agenda, your meeting minutes, which I also attached a link to a nifty little handbook from the Michigan Municipal League, just gives you an overview of what needs to be in meeting minutes for the Open Meetings Act and how to do that. And then we like to end off with a couple of action items for the committee. So that's something that I thought might be helpful. Again, this will be sent to everyone so that we can use this for the board book reporting for the committees moving forward.
The other benefit of something like this is it creates a historical roadmap of what we've discussed and what we've done. I know we had that issue come up earlier this year, if you recall, how certain things came to be. So this is a reminder for someone 4, 5, 10 years from now. We'll all be immortal.
This is great. Thank you, Grace.
Yes, thank you, Grace.
Yes, thank you. Very good.
Yeah, I think that was about it. We also talked about the rally and branding, which we got a nice update that, the decals and everything are underway. So looking forward to seeing those. Yep.
Okay, promotion committee.
I will take that one. We actually had a nice showing this week. We had a few extra faces joining us, so I don't know if they're permanent or just checking us out temporarily, but it was nice to have more input. Kelly touched on spring cleanup, so that was almost 100% done. And if you need another afternoon randomly, I can grab my kid and put him to work with you. We'd love to help finish it off since we weren't able to join you Friday. But concerts are looking really tight. All the nights are filled. I think we're just looking for a kids' night sponsor still. And we had discussed Red Piano. The business is looking to kind of take the opening slot every night and just have some different interactive performances and bring some of the instruments and invite families and kids to try out different instruments and I think musical activities. I think that sounded like a really awesome idea and another way to promote a business as well. Farmers market is looking good. Changed up the way that they offered the spots, so it's a nice consistent group of vendors week in and week out. Bryce is going to get behind that with some help pushing the advertisement of the day and time for that to take place. Facebook advertising, Bryce is also again helping us out with that. we're talking about getting some t-shirts for the DDA so that we can maybe, if you're present at the concerts or any other events that we do in town, that we can kind of promote ourselves, and just make ourselves open for people to check in with. And then we'll also maybe use those as part of our business information project, which we're calling it, that Reagan's gonna help us out with too. I've kind of reached out to everybody that's involved in that, and we're pulling together a subcommittee meeting. I'll probably try to do that this week, just to get us all rolling on how to approach that. And then work plan, forgive me, but I don't really know.
Yeah, so going forward in the committees, this is one thing that Main Street is really pushing hard on, is having the work plans. So we have now created them. So next month at the committee meetings, we will all have work plans going forward that we can easily update to keep us on track. And again, it's one of those things that, you know, if somebody else stepped into this role tomorrow, they would be able to know exactly where we've been and exactly where we're going. So every different committee, we have now 4 solid work plans that we'll be introducing.
Leanne, with the t-shirts, is that something that you plan on doing sometime soon? I mean, I like the idea, because if the committee people and things like that, plus the public recognition, Oxford DDA, as
Yeah.
people wander around town and whatnot, is that something that's coming up
I
soon?
think we can get that done pretty quickly. It just came up on
Absolutely.
Monday, so.
Yeah. So I'll
We
just
were
need
probably
all
just
of your
gonna-
sizes after the meeting, please.
The other thing we touched on was the summer social kickoff, which is June 22nd. So we've got a lot of fun, free things incorporated into that, like face painters and the hair tinsel, popcorn, cotton candy balloons, an activity table for the kids. So we are hoping for a really nice showing at that to just kick off the summer events. And then other than that, I just have a note that we have a budget for a kids' play area. Probably, I think that was over on the Red Nap side.
It is, yeah.
Just like a little cove that we were gonna try to create, like just somewhere that kids can play, looking for a builder for that. And we were playing around with names, like playing off the Wildcat theme, but like Cub Club, something cute and catchy. And then similarly, a budget for a dog run area. I don't know if you wanna elaborate on that, but just a
Yep.
small little dog run area on the other side of
Yeah,
downtown.
so that's one of the ones that we applied for, the Bridge Builders grant, but then we also might just throw it right into the next one as well. We talked about an EV. So all of our committees kind of coming together, and we update on concerts. We do have a kids sponsor now for that one, so all of our concerts have been sponsored overall by Oxford Bank, and then each one has a separate sponsor. And then Farmers Market is completely full. Like, we have people now on the sidewalks, so we cannot accept anybody else. Because we are packed, and I have to say Kimberly did a great job, because we have such a wide array of vendors this year. Everything from syrup to fresh breads to a produce vendor that's going to be there every week. They're our main person with 2 20-foot tents. We have a lot of different things, pierogies, pasties, so it should be a really great year. And the vendors are excited because we're running it with concerts for that 9 weeks. That's when they saw the most foot traffic last year, was during that concert series. So I think that this will be just the perfect combination.
Leanne, could you expand on that summer social thing you mentioned?
That's just the first night of concerts, I believe, is June 22nd.
Okay, I just didn't quite hear you, so I just...
Yeah, so they just added a few extra things to kind of draw more people in, so that first concert is a really big showing.
Yeah, and we partnered with Lake Orion on that as a Stronger Together event. The trolley will run that day. Our whole motivation was to bring people into town early, to get them here, hopefully eat, shop, be here. We also have Evergreens is featured on America's Best Restaurants. They're doing the live taping that morning. And so that's in town, and then the trolley's running. We're hopefully gonna get some of the businesses to do more of like a sidewalk sale and kind of bring people in that way. And then we have everything from, you know, face painters to balloon artists. And then I think the only change that we did mention is 6:30 to 8:30 for concerts this year. We noticed that so many people scooted out between like 8 and 8:30 last year that we had this awesome group, and then it kind of like ended in a dip because so many people left before the band was over, and it's because we attract so many families and young families. So instead of that, we wanted to end on a higher note this year, so we wanted to make sure that everything was done and wrapped up by 8:30, hoping that people would stay in town. Maybe go get a drink after and things like that, so.
The kids?
Well, I mean, my kids sit there.
Okay, where are we now? We're on the design committee report. Who's gonna tackle that? Catherine?
I will do it.
All right.
Okay, we celebrate big wins from, of course, the Main Street. Just want to point out, the two awards were really design committee awards. They came out of the design committee's grants and the mural, so we want to have a photo op with the design committee with our checks just to celebrate big wins. Grant app, which we will talk about under 9C for the new, the former Williams Art Glass, but we will talk about that more under new business. Placemaking grant project, we talked a lot about trying to incorporate things for kids around town in the placemaking grant. Just things that they can stop and do, maybe different locations throughout, have a drum set or a hopscotch board or something where kids can just, when they're out in the quads, have some sort of entertainment, because there's really not a lot for kids. But I think that it seems to be a common theme that many of us have had going on. The arches for the entrance to, did we order all of them or just the one for the one by Victoria's?
Yep, so we ordered the one for Victoria's and Knapp, so we finally got the approval from the engineered drawing on that.
So yeah, so we're putting arches, welcome to Oxford. What is that?
Downtown Oxford. Yep, it's a black wrought iron arch. It's 11 foot, so it's kind of just like a, welcome area.
Welcome. Let you know you're in downtown Oxford. We did pick out some furniture and umbrellas for the areas. We went with yellow umbrellas. Figured it'd be less hot than black or others. And furniture, you found some great furniture, so we'll get that. We talked about future ideas, just going forward, see what we can do. And what else is date and time of the meeting, which is something we need to discuss going forward.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a walk around the next design committee. We're a whole group, and I will have applications from the people that came to this meeting. So Nicolette kind of did a call out for anybody in the community that had a design background or wanted to be involved. So I think we had 6 new people show up to this meeting. So now if they come back, then I'll have them fill out an application. I figured, they're probably just checking it out the first time. But our next meeting is gonna be a walk around the quads to say, okay, what else do we need? Like our next grant applications that will be coming in, what do we wanna do?
Okay.
Yep, lots of newcomers and lots of great ideas generated, so hopefully that'll continue.
Okay, item number 8A, TIF plan update. I suppose that,
Yeah, just really quick, I just want to give you guys an update. When I was chatting with Main Street about the consultant, Tim said, you guys don't expire in December this year, so you have a little more time. So he's like, instead of rushing this with the consultant, just take a minute, review the consultants, and then make a decision from there, knowing that, originally thought it was December, but let's focus on March of next year to be finished with it. So it just gave us some extra time, so I just wanted to let you guys know. And then I'll talk with the consultants and, bring them to you at that time. But it's our tech grant, which is $7,500 that we get from the county that obviously we want to use anyway, so it's a perfect way to use it.
why do they call it tech grant?
They call it a technical grant.
Oh,
and
technical, okay.
I mean, it's, a technical grant, but it can be used for such a wide variety now that I'm like, they must have just started with that name at that time.
Okay, 9A.
I think that's me.
Yep.
That's you.
Yeah, so I emailed everyone, I guess on the 8th, because I had been looking at the DDA's website and I noticed that the schedules for committee meetings were from 2022. So none of the current meeting times were listed on the website, so they weren't publicly available other than being posted physically here. But it really got me thinking, especially because with EV, we move location every month, and we do that intentionally so we can try and meet more business owners and meet more people in the community. So I think aside from us getting the dates updated, not only the dates updated on the website, but also including locations and times, which I'd already talked to Kelly about, so that's happening. I thought it might be helpful if we post day of on our social media, just like, hey, EV committee meeting today at Evergreens this time, because our location does change so often, and that's a little bit easier than having to update that whole schedule that's on the website every single time. So it kind of, gives us a little bit of a extra way to communicate with the community, if that's where they're finding us anyways, on our social media. And yeah, so that was just a suggestion I had, and I didn't know how the rest of the board felt about that.
Dorothy, how do you feel about that?
Well, so is it like this meeting where it has to be like public notice?
Our committee meetings are supposed to be public.
Is there a length of time that it has to be?
18
public?
hours.
Okay. So does that hit the mark then? It's gotta be.
We could post the day before, maybe.
Yeah,
That would
18
be
hours
my
is
only
required.
thought.
Yeah.
Would we want to put reference on the actual website to check Facebook
Yeah.
for the committee meeting?
Yeah, for the locations,
Locations.
probably.
So the new sheet that I did, that's what I put on there. So especially for EV, just because that is TBD.
Yeah.
But I can even put that on there for all of them in the new spreadsheet before I upload it.
So we understand it's always the change of location, the change of times, plus, let's face it, it's just one more task in a day, right? We're meeting here, and then if we change last minute, I mean, we're all busy people, right? So it's good to communicate. I always appreciate the emails too as a reminder, but I think it's a point well taken,
Yeah. I thought over time too, it might be a nice way for us to find new members for our committees. If we're posting like, hey, we're at this fun location today, like come check us out, see what we do. It might be a nice way just to get people to drop in once in a while and learn more about the DDA and our committees, or to possibly find some more
Get a
people to
t-shirt for
join.
Leanne or something
Yeah.
like that.
I need one of those t-shirt guns.
Oh my gosh. Totally make that happen.
That'll be the next board meeting, Leanne. Next board meeting, okay? Give Vicki something to do back there.
Reagan's on it.
Reagan's on, okay, both of them, all right. Just like a Lions game, right, Pete?
Yep.
So, do we have to vote on this or no?
I don't think we need a vote on it. It's more of
Okay.
it's more of an administrative kind of a thing, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else there? Change of date, August 2023 board meeting?
Yeah, so I was hoping that we could move to the week prior to our normal meeting, or the week after, because of my schedule.
What are those dates?
So the third one is, I believe it was the 20. Yes, it's because I'm computing, thank you. I heard that. So if we do it the week prior, the only thing is it kind of messes up our committee meetings. If we do it the week after, I'm okay with that. I might be a little jet lagged. But we could move it to the 28th.
Kelly, what dates are you going to be heading out and then coming back, just to give us some point of
So-
reference?
Yep, so they fly us out on the 16th of August and I compete on the 26th. So I will be coming back the 27th.
The question would be would it be terribly inconvenient for the committees if we
To meet the
possibly
week
not
prior.
have a committee meeting in August? That's one possibility.
I like to touch base with everybody.
I understand. I'm not, just wondering what other people think about it too. I agree with you there. It's helpful. I mean, you want to go down a list here and see what you think about this? Anyone have any questions or comments before or after, Kathy?
I'm just not sure we'll have a committee meeting. If we do it on the 14th, design committee won't have met yet for that month. It doesn't, I have no problem with the board meeting, it's just I won't have an update from that design committee meeting.
Right.
Maybe we have a board meeting but not committees?
Marie?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I went
No,
out of
go
turn.
ahead.
Maybe we have a board meeting but not committee, maybe the committees take a vacation that month.
You're okay with that?
Leanne, your thoughts on that?
I'm flexible.
Bryce?
It's a
Yeah,
heavy-
flexible as well. 28th works.
I'm easy either way. Grace?
Yeah, the 28th is also open for me.
So if we don't have committee meetings, we could meet the week prior, the 14th.
Okay.
If you guys wanted to touch base just before.
That's when World War I started, August 14th.
Does that mean you don't want to meet on the 14th?
Is it bad luck?
Sorry. No, that's fine.
Okay. And I'll expect you all to be in Vegas on the 26th.
We'll be waiting for
Would
you.
love
Yeah.
to.
I may or may not be present on the 14th
Okay.
because I may or may not be getting married on the 12th.
That, yes, okay.
We'll go to Vegas and do it there,
Vegas.
Grace.
Vegas for your honeymoon. Boom.
Do you need a crown?
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna put August 14th. Okay.
Okay, easy
And
peasy.
no committee meetings for the month.
Yeah, what I would suggest, I mean, Bryce, great point there. If we wanted to get together to have some casual conversation, unofficial, I think that would be okay because of a lot of loose ends, things like that. You know, I mean,
Yeah, and I
seem like
would-
we all get along and get things accomplished. I mean, it's, you
I
know,
do feel like promo will need to meet just because as crazy as it sounds,
Oh.
Scarecrow Fest will only be 2 months away at that point, and I just feel like that's crunch time. So,
so
but I can
promo
touch
for
base
sure.
with the committees if that's okay.
I'm okay with that. Everyone else okay?
Yeah.
Pete, you good with that? Okay, item 9C, the DDA facade grant application for 22 North Washington Street.
Catherine, you wanna take this one?
I'm confused by the packet, actually.
Okay. So, let's do the signage first. I think he added all the images to both packets.
Because I
But
think under the sign is the facade.
Yeah, I think he added all the renderings to both.
Oh, okay.
So the signage for the dealership, which is in your packets, this one here, we are asking him to try to get a variance on this because of the size he has to stick to, per village ordinance right now. But what I would like to do, and this is what we decided in design committee, is move forward with approving the 1,500 for the sign, and then regardless giving it to him if he gets the variance or not. Because really, it's not up to him. They're gonna say yes or no. The Williams Art Glass Studio, I think, is such a great size, that signage that's currently on there, and the dealership, this is as large as he can go per ordinance right now, and it just, to me, it looks so small.
It is, you know, if I may interject, I agree with you. You know, if you're driving down busy Washington Street, it's
Yeah.
difficult to read. Kelly, on this, look at the same photograph you're discussing, what, you were talking earlier about removing brick or something like that?
Yeah.
Can you relate that to this photograph in the back?
Sure, so and I can just kind of draw it here for you, Rod, but the back of that brick is actually structured more like this with a peak in the center. If you go on the sidewalk and look at this, you can see the wood that they built up and it sits above, and it's just a facade right on top. The problem that Kyle doesn't know is if it comes off, what does it do to that back facade?
I think that's just the way you talk about it, I think it sounds cool. I mean,
It's the museum pulled the photographs in our design committee for us the other day, and we got to show them, and it's a really cool building, like what it used to look like.
There you go, Leanne, for that project. What do you think?
I like it. I'm all for restoring.
You know, did I send you that email from the Ford about restoration?
The homes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there might be somebody that we can bring in from outside to help us with that too. You know, just remind me sometime, because I know we're all busy, but
Yeah.
I'd be happy to.
As a reference?
Marie?
Kelly, do you know the proposed size of the sign that he would want? Because this shows
Right here.
what he's,
4 foot. by
yeah, but on the
6.
building, I was wondering how much of that, where does it span?
Like what his wish list would be?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I mean, his wish would be to go the current width. How it says Williams Art Glass there, that length.
So that same width
I mean,
as
he would love to
Williams.
do that, yeah.
Now,
Grace?
if they do remove that facade though, and it is peaked, that will take a lot of the width of the building down, and I'm just wondering, so as I'm like looking at that on the little picture where it still says Williams Art Glass, that would actually look quite large once it's
wouldn't
peaked.
fit.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would need to, but the problem is the sign is gonna go up now, and then later on would be the time where he'd be able to probably afford to do it and bring it back, so it would have to be redone anyways.
Well, that brings up the question you said later on. How much time were we talking?
Well, it just depends on if the MEDC would be willing to fund that type of project. I mean, that's, I'm sure, a lot of money to take it back to the original.
So we're talking a couple of years, it sounds like.
I mean, I would hope it wouldn't be that long, but it could.
Okay, so, further questions, Pete? Anything there? So let's take a vote on this.
You need a
Separate.
motion?
Yes, we need a motion.
I move to approve up to $1,500 sign grant for the dealership taking place of the old Williams Art Glass building.
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Mr. Schultz. Discussion on this? Catherine, could you do roll call, please? Or Marie, did you have a question?
No, I'm
Okay,
good.
Catherine?
Johnston? Yes. Schultz?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Powers?
Yes.
Holden, yes. Carrie?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Knaus?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, facade grant application.
Yeah, so, city building, this is for windows and then to replace the doors, two things that are very necessary. I would love to give him half, but we just don't have it in the budget for the rest of this fiscal to do it. So what we came up with in design committee, knowing what is coming up next month and that our fiscal ends June 30th, would be a $5,000 grant to try to give him a little bit of something for his windows and for the garage doors.
And what was the total amount? I didn't,
5,000 and,
so the total amount he's going to,
Estimated project budget was 50.
50,000.
Okay. I have a question, Kelly.
Grace?
When you were talking about, fiscal year coming up and doing 5,000, is that with the intent of a second grant to get up to the amount that you were hoping for, or this is just a one-time grant?
Nope, so this would be, per
I think it's combined.
our bylaws, then this would be it.
Okay,
They can only apply every 3 years.
okay.
And we don't tend, if it's the same business, we don't tend to update even every 3 years, so
Yeah.
this would be it for him.
Other questions?
Yes.
Marie?
On this estimate where it says channel letters front lit, is that's on the front of the building? Is that the sign we just talked about, or is this a
Yeah, so
different?
he added both into the
Okay, I just wanted to
packets.
make sure.
So the facade for this one is that 17,200 for the doors. And then the next one, I believe, is the back. The garage door, there's a rendering of the photos with the lights. He's replacing everything that's actually there, he's just updating it.
And where it says front lit, do you know what that's going to look like?
I'm sorry.
The lighting for
Front
the
lit.
front, where it says front lit?
So he would like to do the lighting like is on, what's the corner building they just got painted that are black now instead of
The
the
Modern
yellow?
Marketplace.
The canister lights, but it still has to go through approval for the village. Would have to approve it before he can.
So-
He has to actually pull a permit for that.
Okay, the sign itself isn't lit, it will have,
His
Supplemented.
signage, he is going to try to get a lit sign, almost, very similar to the Paramount that went up. The Paramount
where
building.
the lettering is
Yes.
actually lit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Summit, which is right there too, same thing.
Now, the cost for the channel letters we're not including, correct?
Nope, because that's for just the sign.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's actually way above, I mean, just the 17,200 for just that portion is way above even half of what we can give him. So even just looking at that quote, we're already max.
Is this grant contingent? He has to get approval still?
Not on the windows or anything, that he has already pulled all of his permits from the village, and I have checked with them and checked with Kim that everything was pulled. But again, until they complete the work and they submit me every single receipt, we don't ever cut them a check before that's all finished.
To that point, should we, is there a contingency we should have based on the village giving the okay? Is that kind of what you're hinting at?
That was my
Catherine?
question, but apparently they already have given the permits.
Yeah, they've already given all the permits and everything. We just always wait until they submit us the receipt saying this work has been done. We
Right.
go, we take a photo, and just file it from there.
And we're proposing 5,000 for the grant.
Yes.
Do we have more discussion?
Well,
No?
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve the facade grant application for up to $5,000 for Kyle Morski, the owner of the dealership.
A second?
okay. Further discussion? Let's take a roll call, please, Catherine.
Johnston?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Powers?
Yes.
Colvin, yes. Carrie?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
And Knopf?
Yes.
You get that, Vicki? Okay, items moved from the consent agenda. We didn't, anything there? What's that?
We didn't have any.
No, we didn't have, that's what I'm saying, anything. Okay, board member comments. Let's start with Leanne.
I do not have any.
Same.
Bryce?
Yeah, I just want to, as always, give a big thank you to all of our volunteers that came out for the spring cleanup. The downtown is already looking amazing. I know we have some more stuff that's going out soon. So again, thank you to everyone who was able to show up for that. And yeah.
Pete?
Congratulations, Kelly. Yeah. Be proud of that. And again, it's exciting if everything's supposed to start this week for the back of the north quadrant back there. It's gonna be exciting to see it get going, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Catherine?
Congratulations, Mrs. Michigan, and yeah, I thank all the board members and everyone that volunteers for all their hard work.
Yeah. Congratulations, Kelly.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And I echo what Pete says. I'm excited for the summer.
Marie?
You don't.
Well spoken.
Congratulations, Kelly, and the volunteers too. I know my wife went, and I saw Andrew Nisher this morning at the pool, and he was telling me he had a good time doing that. He enjoyed it a great deal. And yeah, look, I think we've been doing a pretty good job this year. I had a lot of compliments. Even this morning, I was over at the Brandon High School, heard people talking about downtown Oxford. It was kind of neat to hear that as a separate conversation. So everyone on the board, and Kelly and Kimberly, should be very proud of everything that's been going on. That being said, one final thing, we have to put our crowns back on. And then we have,
That is awesome.
come on over here, Kelly.
She has to, you know.
Oh, she has to do this,
She
you're
has
right.
to hold it the
Where's your
right
crown?
Should I go out and get my crown and put it on?
Yes, you should.
Yeah. Dismiss this meeting.
I'll dismiss the meeting. The meeting is hereby dismissed officially, and now the fun starts.